Hello friends and students. So I'm back again with another interesting topic. So here in today's lecture session we shall go through Chinese remainder theorem. And what is Chinese remainder theorem basically used for? Now if I have a congruence relation, for example, x congruent to a1 mod n1. Now what does this mean? It means that x minus a1 is divisible by n1. Now the second equation, x congruent to a2 mod m2, means that x minus a2 should be divisible by m2. So like this I have r congruence relation. So here x minus ar should be divisible by mr. Now if you have observed, I have a set of r equations, congruence relations, and the LHS value x is the same. So here I need to find a single value x which satisfies all these congruence relations. So x minus a1 should be divisible by m1, x minus a2 should be divisible by m2, and so on. So how do we find a single value x which satisfies these r relations? Now for that we use Chinese remainder theorem. Now what is the general method we shall go through, and then we shall take a problem and we shall see how this method can be applied and how we can find a single value x. Now given our equations as shown here, right? So I have x congruent to a1 mod m1 to x congruent to ar mod mr. So I have our equations, and hence I first calculate m. So what is m? Capital M is, you multiply all the individual mod values. So m1 into m2 into m3 and so on into mr. So you get the value of m. Now if I have r equations, now this step is repeated r times. So this step remains the same. If I have two equations, you repeat this step twice. If I have three equations, you repeat the step thrice. So if you have r equations like this, you repeat this step r times. Now let's assume that I have considered the first equation. So therefore, the first step would be you find m1, which is capital M divided by the mod value m1. And we find that the GCD of m1 and m1 is equal to 1. So these two numbers, that is m1 and capital M1, are relatively prime to each other. So now once you establish this, we need to find n1 where m1 into n1 is congruent to 1 mod m1. Now what does this mean? This essentially means that n1 is the inverse of m1 in mod m1. So once you find the inverse n1, we have finished with the first step. So next we move on to the step 2, the second step where you consider the second equation. So there you find m2, which is equal to capital M divided by m2, and then again you observe that GCD of m2 comma m2 is equal to 1. So we have to verify this, and then you find n2 where n2 should be the inverse of m2 in mod m2, and so on. So if you have r equations, you find r values of n, so n1 up to nr, and once we do that, we calculate the value of x by multiplying a, m and n. So if I have, for example, two equations, the value of x would be a1 m1 n1 plus a2 m2 n2, and find this value in mod m, capital M, which is nothing but the multiplication of m1 and n2 if I have two equations. And then you find the value of x. So this value of x would satisfy the given set of congruence relations. So let's take an example and we shall apply Chinese remainder theorem, and we'll try to find the value of x which would satisfy all these equations. So I've taken a problem here. So there are four equations and we need to find the value of x. So how do I find the value of x? We find the value of x by using Chinese remainder theorem. So since there are four equations, I find four values of m, right? So m1 equals 3, m2 equals 5, M3 equals 11 and M4 equals 16. And these values are A. So this is A1, A2, A3 and A4. So let me list them down. So A1 is 2, A2 is 3, A3 is 4 and A4 is 5. Now what is the first thing we do? So we find the value of M, capital M. So what is M? M is, you multiply these M values, mod values, which is 3 into 5 into 11 into 16. So that gives me 2640. So make sure that you have your calculators and calculate as I solve the problem. So we are done with this. So once you find M, I have to repeat this step 4 times because there are 4 equations, isn't it? So since I have 4 equations, this procedure is repeated 4 times. So let me write this as step 1. So I find M1, which is M by M1, M by M1, which is 2640 divided by 3. So that is equal to 880. Okay, so I have M1, which is 880. So next, GCD of M1 and M1 should be 1. Is it 1? So GCD of 3 comma 880 is definitely equal to 1 because 3 is a prime number and 880 is not a multiple of 3, so therefore it is 1. So I need to find the value of N1 such that M1. So here M1 is a value which is greater than mod 3, which is greater than 3. So now let me express 880 in mod 3. So what is 880 in mod 3? So I have 880 into N1 should be congruent to 1 mod M1, which is 3, right? So I have to express 880 in mod 3. So what is 880 in mod 3? I find that it is nothing but 1. So you divide 880 by 3, you get 1 as the remainder. So 1 into N1 is congruent to 1 mod 3. So when we are operating in mod 3, we know that the only values are 0, 1 and 2. So I need to find N1, where N1 is the inverse of 1. So we can do it by inspection. 1 into 0 will not give me 1, 1 into 1 will give me 1, 1 into 2 will not give me 1. So therefore, the inverse of 1 is 1 itself. So N1 is 1. So we have found out the value of N1. So let me write the value of N1 here, which is 1. So we are through with step 1. So now let's move on with step 2. Now in step 2, I need to find N2. So the whole process remains the same, wherein the values of M1 would change to N2. So step 2, I have M2, which is M by M2. So 2640 divided by 5. So we get the value as 528. Alright. So again, you observe that GCD of M2 comma M2, which is nothing but GCD of 5 comma 528 is 1. Now why is that so? So again, 5 is a prime number and 528 is not a multiple of 5, so therefore GCD is 1. So these two numbers are relatively prime to each other. I need to find the value of N2, where M2 into N2 is congruent to 1 mod M2. So I have M2, which is 528 into N2 should be congruent to 1 mod M2 is 5. Now since we are operating in 5, the valid numbers would vary from 0 to 4. So how do I express 5 to 8 in mod 5? So divide 528 by 5 and get the remainder. So we find that the remainder is 3. So I have 3 into N2 is being congruent to 1 mod 5. So I need to find the inverse of 3 in mod 5. So let's do it by inspection. 3 into 0 is 0, so 0 is not the inverse. 3 into 1 is 3, so 1 is not the inverse. 3 into 2 is 6. So 6 in mod 5 is 1. So therefore n2 is 2. So since the numbers are very small, we can find the value of n2, which is nothing but the multiplicative inverse, by using inspection. So otherwise, if the numbers are large, you have to use extended Euclidean algorithm and find the inverse. So keep that in mind. So to find the inverse of a given number in any mod value using extended Euclidean algorithm, a video has already been made. So go through the playlist cryptography and you will find the video wherein I've explained how to find the inverse of a given number in any mod value. So now we have n2, which is 2. So now the third equation, so we need to find m3. So I repeat the same procedure here. So what is m3? m3 is m by m3, so which is divided by 11. So when I divide it by 11, I get the value as 240. So again, we realize that GCD of m3 comma m3 is 1, right? So GCD of 11 comma 240 is again 1. So these two are relatively prime. So you need not find the GCD because 11 is a prime number and 240 is not a multiple of 11. So we get 1 here. So GCD of these two is 1. So we need to find n3 here. So m3 into n3 should give me 1 in mod m3. So which means that what is m3? 240 into n3 congruent to 1 mod 11. Now since we are operating in mod 11, so the valid numbers are 0 to 10. So express 240 in mod 11. So when I express 240 in mod 11, what do I get? I get the value as 9. So divide 240 by 11 and get the remainder. The remainder is 9. What is this number n3? Which when multiplied with 9 gives me 1 as the remainder in mod 11. So again you can proceed with inspection. So we know that 9 5s are 45 and in mod 11 gives me 1 as the remainder because 44 is a multiple of 11, isn't it? So therefore n3 is 5. So n3 is 5. So now let's move on with the last step. So the last step is where we find the value of m4. Again very simple. m4 is m by m4, 2640 divided by 16, so which gives a value of 165. So again we check whether m4 comma m4, that is GCD of 16 comma 165 is 1. It is 1, you can check. So I will not proceed with finding out whether the GCD is 1. And then we need to find n4, where m4 into n4 will give me 1 in mod n4. So now what happens to this? So I have n4, which is 165 into n4 should give me 1 in mod m4. So what is m4? m4 is 16. So now since we are operating in mod 16, the valid numbers vary from 0 to 15, isn't it? So express 165 in mod 16. So 165 in mod 16 is 5. So you divide 165 by 16, we get 5 as the remainder. So 5 into n4 congruent to 1 mod 16. So what is n4? So n4 happens to be the inverse of 5. So 5 into a number in mod 16 should give me 1 as the remainder. So again we can do it by inspection or you can use extended Euclidean algorithm. So I will write the answer so you can check by using extended Euclidean algorithm or you can verify by using inspection. So you have 5 into 13, right? So 5 into 13 will give me 1 in mod 16. So therefore n4 is 13. Okay, so 5 into 13 is going to give me 1 in mod 16. So therefore n4 is 30. So our whole job is to find the values of n. So since you have 4 equations, this procedure has been repeated 4 times to get the values of n1, n2, n3 and n4. So once we have calculated the values of n, we can find the value of x very easily by using this expression. So how do we find the value of x? So let me write it. So x is summation ai mi ni in mod n. So finally, how do you find the value of x? You find the value of x by using this expression. So x is equal to, so here I have 4 equations, so it's going to be a1, m1, n1 up to a4, m4, n4. So x is equal to, here I have a1 into m1 into n1 plus a2 into m2 into n2 plus a3 into m3 into n3 plus a4 into n4 into n4 in mod 2640. So when you do this calculation here, you get 20453. Now this number is greater than the n value, which is 2640. So you have to divide this number by 2640 and write the remainder, where you get the value of x as 1973. So this is the answer. So this is the value, the smallest value which satisfies all these 4 congruence relations. Now what does this mean? 1973 minus 2 is divisible by 3, 1973 minus 3 is divisible by 5, 1973 minus 4 is divisible by 11, and 1973 minus 5 is divisible by 60. So this is how we can find a single value x, wherein this value x will satisfy a given set of congruence relations. And how do you do that? You do that by using this method, which is nothing but Chinese remainder theorem. So you follow this procedure and you finally find the value of x. So very simple. So depending on the number of equations you have, congruence relations you have, this is repeated those many number of times. So if you have 2 congruence relations, this step is repeated twice. If you have 3, you repeat it thrice. So here we had 4 equations. So therefore this step or this procedure was repeated 4 times, and finally we calculated the n values, and then finally using this expression for x, we find the value which satisfies all the given set of congruence relations. A very easy and a very simple method. So to go through all the other videos in cryptography and network security, click on the I icon or go through the playlist cryptography and network security. And do not forget to like, share and subscribe and press the bell icon to get notifications of further uploads, and thanks for watching.